DNG. And feel free to do that if you decide to use DNG. You will not need to deal with XMP files. Your files might be up to about 20% smaller, and they can have a full-size preview in them if you want to be able to check focus quickly and things. It's not a bad thing to do. I don't, just because it takes a little bit longer in the import. I'm a really, how would I say, my patience is not very wide as far as time goes, and so I want things to happen quickly. Any questions?
Absolutely.
I'm sure there would be in that area.
Okay, so looks like Aaron there is wondering, is it true then that using the DNG format, there's no worry about losing an XMP file, therefore never having to worry about losing adjustments?
Yes. In general, there's no worry about losing an XMP file because it is embedded directly in the DNG file. So yeah, the only way you could quote-unquote lose it is to do it on purpose by right-clicking, choose Develop Settings, and Reset. And that would throw away that data, but why would you choose that unless you wanted to? So, yeah.
So Duke from Park City has a question. Can you turn on the second copy on import feature and use the import as DNG together so that you have both a raw backup and a DNG working copy?
So over here, when I choose copy as DNG and I say make a second copy to, this doesn't have any extra options over here. It's just going to make a copy in the same format. So not that I know of. Also, there's one thing I should mention about DNG that can be helpful if you teach, or if clients ask for your raw files for some reason, and you don't want to give them your high res. You know, maybe I don't know, some people ask for them, and everybody's like, no, I'm sorry, I don't give away my raw files, because you don't want them to first off see how sometimes how poor the original looks compared to the adjusted, and other times it means that they would be able to make a perfect copy of that image and make a big print. Well, what you could do is when you're exporting an image, do you remember you can go to the File menu and choose Export? Well, in the export options that we had, we were in this on the other day creating presets. But in here, if I go to File Settings, one of the file formats that I can use is DNG. And when using DNG here, we have the same in general compatibility. They just listed it slightly differently here as far as, remember how in our preferences we could choose the compatibility? They worded it differently here, actually a little bit more user-friendly. But we have similar options. There's embed fast load data, which means when I go to the develop module, let me adjust the image pretty quickly instead of having to wait for it to load. But then there are a few other options that you wouldn't otherwise have. One is use lossy compression. And that means when I save the image, throw away some data to make the file size smaller. Because a lot of people want to, when they're done with the shoot, when the client's received all the images, they might keep the pics, the ones that the clients wanted prints of, in the normal full size, full quality, in case they ask for more prints in the future. But what about all those images that they didn't ask to have prints made of, but you don't want to throw away? Because you never know, they might come back and say, do you have any other pictures from that shoot? Because we need it for a different purpose. Well, if you keep them all at original size in high quality, your photo archive is going to be huge, even though the number of images in there that were actually used for various projects might be rather small. Most of them are outtakes. But if I say use lossy compression here, and use that just to export my outtakes, the ones that were never used in the actual project, then I can keep those images and my archive can be smaller physically. But it will have to throw away some information, and so therefore the quality would be a little bit less. Then here's a setting I like. You can go to image sizing. Hold on, take me a second, because usually it's in here. Okay, and if you use lossy compression, you can turn on resize to fit. You can resize the picture. So if you want to give a client your raw file for some reason, meaning your DNG file, and you don't